Hey everybody, 8-Bit Josh here, and welcome back to Wildlife World. And today's time lapse, we're starting off, we're doing a new habitat we're gonna put in the Bornean orangutan. I think I'm saying that right, Bornean orangutan. But yeah, I wanted to sort of mix up, kind of like the terrain that we have in our zoo, because I didn't want it just to be like a flat zoo. I wanted to have different heights and everything, so I carved out a whole lot of terrain here and sunk the habitat down into it, so that way we actually have a walkway that will go across it, and guests will be able to look down into the habitat, which I thought would be kind of cool. And then also you can kind of see, so we have our lake, which is in the middle of the zoo, and on one side over in the North American area we have a river that comes off of the lake. So I did the same thing over here, but because of the terrain difference or elevation difference, I put in a waterfall, which you'll see more of as we get into the real-time gameplay. But yeah, so I just wanted to make it really different looking, and I thought it'd be cool to have some more natural terrain kind of stuff going on. But yeah, so with the orangutan habitat, they need lots and lots and lots of climbing areas. So I'm making here a little custom hard shelter for them, and then a whole lot of walkways. And it's pretty much, I spent most of my time kind of putting together a whole bunch of different climbable areas for them, because they need a lot basically, and you can't get away with just having a flat surface area. They need lots of stuff to climb on. So most of the time was spent trying to figure that out, placing different trees, because the animals can climb on the trees in Planet Zoo, but I didn't really feel like any of the trees, I don't know, they didn't look very climbable for an orangutan. I don't know, it didn't look that way to me. So I really just kind of loaded up on all of the different, well, they're not different, but the same like platforms and walkways, and they have a bunch of different hard shelters. So we have two of them that you can see there that are suspended, and then I put one underneath that tree in the corner, so they have plenty of space to, when they want to sleep, or if it's raining and they need to get out of the rain. But yeah, it's I thought it would be, like I said, doing a sort of sunken down habitat, and then having the walkway with the blah blah blah, can't talk apparently, with the walkway going over top of it. And I just thought it'd be different. I thought it'd be sort of unique, I guess. I don't know, maybe not, but I think it'll look cool once it's all done. So yeah, like I said, really just at this point I was just trying to get all the details down for the habitat, and like I said, lots of climbing areas. So I mean, that's pretty much what is happening in this whole time lapse, basically for the rest of this time lapse, because I was like, man, I keep placing stuff down, and you can see it's orange right there, their climbable area. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna load up on as many little climbable kind of pieces I can put in there. And some of those are the pre-made little blueprints, because I was like, there's nothing wrong with using those. It didn't have to be necessarily custom built little climbable area things, especially because I have that really huge walkway kind of going over the river there. And I mean, it ended up working out pretty well for us, so it looks good. I think it looks good. But I think the orangutan was a cool addition to add into our, Asian section of the zoo. So I actually had a live stream, and we kind of cleaned up the Asian entrance area a little bit. And then we also added at the front of it, just before the tiger temple, if you watched the last episode, we added a gharial. I never know how to pronounce that. Gharial, but they're the little crocodiles. And we kind of themed that out in sort of a swamp kind of theme, I guess. You'll see more of that in the real-time gameplay too, as we, you know, kind of go over everything that we've done in the zoo up to this point. And then yeah, here just kind of cleaning up the terrain a little bit and doing so that there's going to be a waterfall right there. So I added a whole bunch of, you know, just the regular kind of rock texture, and you'll see the start of the waterfall. Here I start adding like the top waterfall effects, and then the middle, and it's gonna have to be like cleaned up with rocks and kind of shaping out the terrain and the waterfall with rocks so it looks more natural. Yeah, that pretty much does it for the time lapse, so let's jump into the real-time gameplay. Okay, and here we are back into the game now, so you can see what we've done here, sort of the finished product of our orangutan habitat, and it's looking pretty good. We got plenty of enrichment items, plenty of climbable areas, and I think it's looking pretty good. Here's the big old alpha male. Oh, he's climbing up. Yay! I love just watching him climb. I say this in like a lot of our live streams and even in these videos, like I could just spend so much time watching the animals. They're so fun. Oh, yeah, he's climbing up there. Okay. Alright. I don't know why he's like walking along the very edge. It's like you can walk in the middle. So why are they doing that? Why are they walking on the very edge? You can walk in the middle, dude. But yeah, so this is the walkway, and it's gonna need themed out as well. Very similar to like what we did over here in the North American area. Whereas this is more of like a, you know, it's supposed to look like it's actually on the ground, even though this is a raised or elevated path. We'll have to do like a, you know, some sort of bridge type thing, like this in a way, how we use like the fencing and some logs and rocks to make it look like, you know, more themed and just like not just like the regular path. But I hadn't gotten there yet, so that'll definitely be something we work on next. And then over here you can see, so this is, you know, this is the start of the waterfall, and you know, it definitely still needs a lot of work, obviously. And you know, like I was saying, kind of using rocks to shape the terrain around it so it actually looks like the water's falling where it would naturally fall. And then we'll have to do, you know, we'll probably use these same waterfall top effects over here because, you know, like I said, you can't actually have waterfalls, flowing water in the game. So you have this like weird, awkward, like terrain barrier right here. Like if I didn't have this and I just leveled out this bottom part all the way over, we wouldn't be able to place water because it wouldn't be like a closed off sunken area. Does that, if that makes sense? So we have to fake it, but it's okay. It'll still look really good, you know. And obviously bare bones like that, it looks kind of bad, but it's still obviously still all a nice work in progress. And then this is the new gharial, I think they're called, crocodile habitat we did in the most recent live stream as of, you know, my recording of this. They actually have babies. We got like 2 little babies right here. 2 little baby crocodiles. One right there and one right there. But this was a fun habitat to build, especially because I remembered in the beta, they had a really small amount of plant coverage that they liked. So I remember the habitat being pretty bare. I feel like, at least that's how I remember it. It was only a couple months ago. But yeah, it's definitely, you can get away with doing a lot more plants now than you could in the beta. So I was able to theme it out really nice, and you know, they don't require a hard shelter. I don't think this would even qualify, but this is more just trying to look like a little rock, like outcropping kind of thing. And then we have just a really simple sign here, and using these really cool aerial statues. And I think it's looking out pretty cool. I actually like, you can see the Nocturnal House sign over there, so it's sort of the back of the building. And then I like this kind of like little swamp area. And I actually found out something kind of cool. If you use these moss pieces here along the like edges of the water, it actually kind of looks like algae, which I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. It makes it look more swampy, at least I think it does. But I think that turned out pretty cool. And then we kind of finished off this corner. So this is if you watched the last episode, so Heart of Asia, heading into the Asia area of our zoo. But we added like this nice little corner here with some panda statues, and it's pretty good. I'm liking it a lot. And then, like I said, this area is gonna stay pretty plain because we don't want too many things blocking our view, because we want the guests to be able to see off into the distance, which back here is gonna eventually be our African area of our zoo. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it where we are on the updates. We'll have to do some kind of filler stuff here. I'm thinking we'll probably need a shop of some kind. That would probably be a good thing to have. And then I think what I want to do over here is actually like a line of buildings that kind of follow the path. So we'll have some facades and then some actual functioning buildings and stuff, and make it look really cool. And it'll fill out this area nicely. But yeah, so I think that's gonna do it for this episode here. So as always, be sure to leave your comments, suggestions, and feedback down below. I am 8-Bit Josh, and thanks for watching. See ya.